my name is Koushik and welcome back to LetCode. In our previous video, we have discussed how to get XPath based on attributes and the value, right? So when I do right click and click on get XPath, here we can see we are able to get all the XPath based on this particular element. And we are also getting the count of each and every XPath. So if it's going to duplicate, we are not going to use that. But if it's going to be unique, of course, we are going to use that. Today we are going to learn how to find the unique locators as well, because we do not always rely on the XPath, right? So we know which is fast and all those stuff. Let's not worry about that. But we are going to learn today how to get all the unique locators like ID, which we already discussed. Using the same technique, we are going to find the name, class name, and maybe link text. So let's first refactor our code a little bit so that we know, right? So this is going to be open source project. This is of course open source project. So whoever is going to see the code, of course they wants to understand or identify easily what these methods are doing. So I will write the comments after the video maybe, but as of now, let us see how to do the refactoring of our code. So first we know that we have to find the unique locators like ID, right? So I'm going to find the ID, and then also we'll find the name, and then also we'll find the class name, right? Yes. And maybe you can also find the tag name and link text, and we are going to add all the stuff like all the locators and all the XPath patterns maybe in some other videos, but as of now I think we can take this 4 or maybe 5, right? So here we already know that technique like how to get the ID based XPath that is going to be unique. So if the XPath is unique, if it's going to give us 1 of 1, then we can say that the value which is present in the ID, that's going to be unique locator, right? So let me just give you a quick example here. So here if we see this text box here we have ID equal to full name, right? So I'm just going to copy and here double slash star and then followed by at ID equal to this value, right? So if this is going to be 1 of 1, then of course we can say this ID value is unique locator in our DOM, right? So let's see how to do that. So we already have code for this, right? So I'm just going to copy this, or maybe I can just use this code here. So let me copy this entire thing and let me paste over here. Before that, let's get some functions. So function, maybe I can say get unique ID, and let us pass two arguments to this. So one is the element which we are going to get from the runtime, and then we are also going to get the tag name. Similarly, we are going to just do for this name as well. So let me just paste it here as of now, and then we will modify this, of course. So here let me just copy this and paste for name, and here we have to say unique name, right? That's it. So far it's very easy, right? So we just created 4 functions and then we are going to write the logic here now. So here first we have to get the tag name which we are getting from this wherever we are going to access this method. From there we'll get this as argument, so I don't need this line here, so I can delete that. And then here we have this target element ID, right? So that is nothing but this is our element, right? So this element, so let me just control D so that I can change in a while, I mean at the same time, that's fine. And here we are going to say that double slash star, so whatever we have written here, right? So that is the same pattern, so double slash star and then followed by at ID equal to, we are passing this ID value. Now this ID value we are getting from this element.id, right? Yes. And here also we are checking the count of this XPath. Now if you remember this, we have written in our previous video like how to get the number of XPath we have in our DOM. And if it's going to be 1, then of course we can say that this is going to be our XPath. I mean, not the XPath, it is going to be unique locator, right? So if it's not, it's going to be duplicate. So when we no need to worry about this duplicate. So anyways, we can just delete this. And this line is not needed as of now. And here what we are going to do actually is, so if the value is going to be unique, then I can say that this is my unique locator, right? So I no need to write the XPath. Rather, I can say like we can store all our locators in an array maybe. So here I can say um, let XPath XPath data. So let me name this as XPath data, and here I'm going to make this as null by default. Now, whenever we have this unique ID locator, we are just going to pass that in our array. So here I can say XPath data dot push. So let me make this as empty null first. Instead of null, I can make this as empty array, and here I can say push. And within this, we are going to pass this ID value, right? So here I can say this value, right? So this one. So that's it, right? So if this is going to be unique, of course we know this count should be 1. If it's going to be 1, we are just going to push that into our array, right? So simple. Similarly, we are going to do for this name and this class name as well, right? So I'm just going to copy this, and here I'm going to paste it. Let's see how to do the unique name. So for this we have to use, I believe, name. So let me just check in the DOM as well. So here we can just copy this, copy JS path, and here I can paste over here, and let me store this here. So var a equal to, and here I can say a dot name, so which is going to give the locator, right? So of course we do not have any name here, so it's giving us null, but not null, the empty string, but we know that this is the syntax to use, right? So here I can say name, and then here followed by not the id, so this is going to be our name, and here it's going to be id value, and this is going to be, it can be just value, so not no need to write id value or something like that. So I can change this to value, and here we are using the star, we are finding this, and then we are getting the XPath here. So this can be also like name value, right? So here we are going to push this value here, right? So if it's going to be unique, again we are pushing same thing, we are just going to copy for this class name as well. But there's something in class name, right? So if the class name has a space, of course we cannot use that. I mean, we can use that for the XPath, but not for the unique locator strategy, right? So we have to write some regular expression. Maybe we'll see that in some another video. So as of now, I'm just going to keep it very simple as we did here. Maybe in some another video, of course, we will fix that as well. So to find the class name, let's see what is the syntax. So here I can say a dot class list and then followed by class name, right? So this is the syntax. So I'm just going to copy, and here I'm going to say class name, and here in the XPath we know that it should be class, right? So a class, that's it, right? So it's going to be very easy, nothing much here differences here, so that's just going to be very easy, right? So here I can say class value. Of course I can keep the same name, but just to make it more simpler and to make sure that everyone can understand, I'm just renaming this value. Of course we know that this local variable is not going to be affected in anywhere, but still we are doing this, right? That's fine. And we are going to find the tag name as well. So finding tag name is very easy. So we can, without even using the XPath and everything, we can use this as like document dot get element by tag name, and what are the tag name we are going to fetch from this tag here, I can just use that. And here we can say like dot length. So if this is going to be 1, so let me say that let counts equal to, and here we can see if we can say like if count is equals to 1, and then here I can say XPath the data dot push, and here I'm just going to give the tag name, right? So if the tag name is unique, of course it is going to be 1, so the count is going to be 1, so we are pushing that data into our XPath array. So we'll come back to this link text maybe in next video. So as of now, let's see what we are going to get from this, right? So let me delete this one. So we don't need this stuff here anymore. So I'm just going to delete this. And so here we are getting this tag name, and here we are getting this attributes. And within this function, we are actually getting all the attributes, right? Or I mean, all the attributes based XPath, right? So let's comment this as of now. We'll come back to this in a moment. Before that, here we know that using this element.name, we are able to find the element name, right? So I'm going to use some switch condition here. So switch, and the key is going to be element dot name. So based on the name we are going to write, right? So for example, here if it's going to be id, then I can simply call my id function here, right? So that is going to be get unique id. So let me copy and paste over here. And here of course we have to pass the element which we are getting from here. So element, actually we cannot pass this element because this element is slices of from this attributes, right? So we have to use this target element. So what can I do is I can pass this here in the argument and I can receive here, right? So that's pretty simple, right? So here we are getting this target element which contains the particular selected node, and we are passing this to here, right? And from there we are just going to fetch this in our id method. And here of course I have to pass the tag name, that is my second argument, and that is here mentioned as tag name, right? So I'm just going to copy and paste over here. That's fine. So based on this, it is going to find the unique id. If it's going to be unique, it is going to store in our um, XPath array, right? Similarly, I'm just going to make another two cases here. So one is for name and another one is for class name, right? So let me just see the class name. So let's copy and paste. Yeah, that's fine. So here I can say get unique name, and similarly here I can say get unique class name, right? That's fine. Now other than that, whatever the value we have, so also we have this tag name, right? So we can use this tag name, but we can call it outside also. We don't need to iterate through this one, so we can call that outside as well. So name unique and id unique, class name unique, that's fine. So other than that, whatever we have, we are consider those as an attribute based XPath, right? So this is our concept, which I mean the logic which is going to bring the attribute based XPath. So here I'm just going to create a function, another function. So here I can say attributes based XPath, and let me create a function. So function attribute based XPath, and here we know that we need the element and as well as the tag, right? So that's fine. So I can just copy. Okay, so this will be element, not element. So let's just rename this. Similarly here as well. So element, and here as well. Yeah, that will work for sure. I know that, but still we are just making it more readable so that everyone can understand what the heck I'm doing here, right? So that's pretty much fine. So here we are getting this element and the tag name. So here we are going to write a simple logic, right? So we already have built this. So here if it's going to be unique, then I can say like, okay, just go to the my XPath array data, and here I'm going to push this to the value, right? So here I can say temp. So that's it, pretty much done. So no need of this console.log anymore. So I'm just going to remove, and the sales part also I'm going to remove as of now, but we'll use that maybe in future videos, right? So here we are getting this. Now let me call this within this XPath array, this one. Okay, now it sounds like something different, and it may be a little confusing for you at this point, but if you are seeing our videos regularly, that means it's going to be very easy for you to understand that what I'm doing, because this is just a quick explanation how to refactor our code and how to find the um, unique locators, right? But before this video we have explained each and everything in I have explained each and everything in detail. So if you are new to this series, please go ahead and watch the previous video as well, so that will definitely help you. So fine, we are going to display this here as well, and that's it. We are pretty much done with our XPath and the unique locators. So what we are going to do is we have to showcase our XPath, right? So whatever the XPath we have so far built, we are going to display here. So I'm just going to say console.log, and here I can call this XPath data, right? So let me go to my browser and let me go to this Chrome, colon slash slash extension, and let us refresh. We have some errors. That's not a problem. So let's refresh, and here I'm going to just refresh, and hopefully let's see what it's going to give us. So here we are getting the error first of all. So tag name is not defined. We are getting from this get attribute based XPath, which is in the line number 1 or 2. So the problem here is, here we declare this value as tag, but here we are using this as tag name, so that's the problem. So let me just change this, and here this element also there. Okay, so let me just go back and refresh, and here if I refresh, and here if I click and get XPath in the console, then again we can see we are getting some error. It says that name is undefined in attribute based XPath. Okay, let's see. So it says that name. What happened? Let me check. Okay, so basically this element needs to be get data from the sliced attributes, right? Not the actual element. So here we have to pass this as element. So that is our sliced data, right? So this element, right? So that's the problem. Now hopefully this time it should work for sure. Let's see. So okay, again we are getting some error, but here we can see the count of XPath is 5, which is coming from this line number, right? So that's absolutely fine. So our extension is working, but we have some problem. Let's see. So here it says that id of undefined. So let me go to this line number here, and here we can see we have this problem. So element.get id is not working. So let us just click on debug point here, and let me add get XPath. So here let's see what happens. So element itself is undefined here, so that's why id is also undefined. So let's see why we are getting this element as undefined. So if I go up here, we can see this is our switch case, right? So let me just add to the switch case, so that will be more meaningful. And get XPath, so here it's coming element dot name, so that is not our thing. So I think let's go to the next one. So here it says that type, that should come inside the this one, right? So let me just click, yeah, so we are getting, and here we getting all the elements, and the tag name is input. So if I go inside this, here we can see tag name is working, element is also working, name is also working, the value is also working, right? So I can just go click on here, so it's going to get the count, and so here the temp it's 1, so I think that's unique, so it has pushed the value. So if you want to check that, here we can say like XPath data. So here I can see it's array, so it's not unique I think, so that's why we didn't get this, so that's okay. Now let's move to the next one. So here break, then followed by again, so here, right? So this time we are getting this id, and here we have this target element as undefined. Okay, my bad, I understood. Here we are getting this undefined because we have called this here, but we didn't say like we have passed only 2 arguments, we didn't, but here we are receiving 3 arguments. That's the problem. I got this. So that is one of the problem in Java. Not the problem. That is how the JavaScript has been designed. Sorry, not Java, so JavaScript, right? So we do not get anything in the compile time error. Sometimes it takes a lot effort to debug, but that's fun, right? So program is fun, right? So the number of errors you are going to get, the number of times you will learn more, and also your mind will work like why I'm getting the bug. So that's how programming, at least to me. I'm not sure about you. So let's proceed further. So we are just going to refresh this, and here we are going to refresh, and no need to do debug. Let's just check in the console. So let me just, yeah, so hopefully this time without any error we are able to get 2 unique values here. So one is the id, that is my full name, and another one is this placeholder value. Other than that, whatever we have, these guys are not unique, right? So we are going to get rid of this console here as well. So if I go to um, this one, right? So we no need to get this, so that's fine. Now let me show you that. So here we are able to see that this is my id value, and this is my placeholder, that is attribute based XPath. But If someone says newly, they will not understand like what is this and what is this, right? So we are going to give some name to this. So let me just clear it, and here if I go, so before pushing the data, we'll give some name to it. So within the square bracket again, here I'm going to say id unique, or maybe I can say like unique id. So unique id, then followed by colon, and then followed by comma, right? So within the array, we are passing this as another array, right? So it is like matrix, something like that, right? So you get the idea, right? So let me show you in the console as well. So here I'm going to say this is going to be our mistakes bar. That's fine. That's pretty much enough, I think. So let us run again and check what it's going to give us. So here if I go to this refresh, and here if I go and right click and get XPath. So okay, so we got some errors. So it says that unexpected token. So okay, so we didn't close this properly. So here in line number 82, right? So if I go here, we can see we didn't close this properly. So that's the problem. So go back and refresh and go refresh, and here if I do right click get XPath, in the console we are able to see we are getting two arrays. So one is unique id and one is the attribute based XPath, right? So let us just copy this value here. So I'm just going to copy, and if I go to this element and here search, so it's working fine. So this is my unique tag name as well. So let us see. So here we can see we are getting 4 XPath for this, right? So that's pretty much good actually. So here one is the full name and another one is the placeholder, and here we have this why we are getting this one. Okay, so it's actually maintaining the history. That should not happen, right? So if I just click right click and get XPath, here you can see we are getting 6. So actually my XPath is getting appended with my XPath array, right? So that should not happen. So we are going to reset that value as well. So once I get this XPath for the first time, that's enough. If I'm going to click that second time or third time, that should restart the things again, right? So what we can do is, as of now, once we print this value, right? So once we print this value, then I can just make this as null again. So XPath data equal to null. So we're just nulling, we are just making the object to be null, right? So that in the next time, it is going to again take from the first empty value, right? So let me just check that. So here I'm going to say get XPath. So we are getting two arrays, that's absolutely fine. And then it says that cannot push of array to the null. Okay, so again that means we cannot use the null. So let me just make this as empty. So that's pretty much fine, I believe. So refresh, and then here if I go and right click and get XPath, here we are able to see two arrays, and then here we can see two. Okay, so now we are able to get all the XPath based on this. So this is working fine, and that's absolutely fine, right? So we are able to get the unique XPath based on the locators as well as the um, XPath as well, right? So that's pretty fine. Let's check in some another website. Maybe I can just go pull up Amazon.in, and here if I go to the sign in and if I get XPath, we are getting null values. So our extension couldn't find anything here. That's okay. So and if I go to here, and here we can see we are able to find 6 locators. So it has ID of unique, name of unique, and then also it has autocomplete placeholder. But if you see here, this one is useless, right? So if I could just copy and paste, of course it's going to give us match, but we know that without value writing something is not that useful. So of course we have to fix that. So let's fix that as of now. So what can we do is we can write if condition here. So if this name or the value is not equal to empty space, right? So here I'm going to say before this one, right? So here I can say if element dot value is not equal to empty space. So if it's not going to be empty, then we can add this, or else we can skip that, right? So here let me just refresh, And here if I go and let me just add XPath, and here in the console we can see we are able to fix this, I believe. Yes, done, perfectly fine, right? So here we have this value, we have this value, we have this value, and also we are able to get two unique locators like ID and the name, unique ID, and few XPath. So I think that's pretty much enough. After the video I will write all the comments as well, so you can check it out. And also I have added license, free license, so that everybody can go and use this. So if you want to contribute yourself, you are welcome, but if you want to build your own XPath, you can use the code, but just you have to give the credits to LetCode or to this LetXPath or to me. So we have this BSD3 license, so we'll talk about this in more detail in maybe in some other videos. And I'm also planning to make a video on how to start your open source project or how to add the license in GitHub and others few things. So if you're interested, do let me know in the comment section so that I can make a video on separately on that. And please do contribution. So this open source project, I think this is the first open source project in this category. So make sure that you are utilizing some of the our videos as well as you are interested to. I hope you are interested to do the contribution as well. So looking forward from you. So thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one very soon.